for 2023 for Utah County. My name is Amelia Powers Gardner, and I am one of our Utah County Commissioners and Chair of the Utah County Commission. I want to thank all of you for coming and attending the State of the County. It is great to see so many of our community leaders here and curious and involved citizens. And we are really excited that we will be able to recognize two fantastic contributors to our community. We will be recognizing a Person of the Year and a Business of the Year, knowing that our people and our community is what makes this county the best place in the world to live, work, play, and raise a family. I want to recognize any of the elected officials in the room. Could I actually have any of the elected officials stand the countywide? I know we've got some mayors. Don't be shy. Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here with us. We're going to start with a prayer today. Mayor Carolyn Lundberg from Linden will offer our prayer, and then we will follow the program as it goes in your book. Did everybody get a program? So right after the prayer, then we'll go into the posting of the colors, and we'll follow the program from there. Mayor?
Our dear Father in heaven, as we gather together this afternoon on this beautiful day, we are first and foremost so grateful to Thee for this amazing land of liberty that we enjoy, and to be part of this great state and this place that Thou hast prepared for us to live and dwell and raise our families. We are so thankful for those that serve each and every day, trying to strive to make this a blessed place. And we are grateful for those that are here serving and reporting to us the good work of many hands that go sight unseen. We ask Thee that Thou will bless them to have the clarity and the wisdom to tackle the challenges that they face and currently, and also looking forward in the future. We ask Thee to pour Thy spirit of cooperation upon all those that work to solve those challenges and disagreements that come. We ask Thee to bless the families of those that serve, the families who also have to sacrifice the time from of their loved ones doing this work, often with different struggles of their own. We ask Thee to protect us from the temptation to stray from those things that we know are right, and to continue to strive to stand for what is truth and what is right, and to be a godly people. And we are thankful to Thee for the opportunity to learn and grow together, and we ask Thy blessing upon those that are struggling with various challenges and issues and hurts and wrongs, to turn to Thee and look to Thee for comfort and peace and healing. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Would the audience please repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right, thanks. Forward, march.
The audience may be seated.
Growing up in Maryland, I got to go to Fort McHenry, where the song was first composed, about 2 miles from the fort, on a ship in 1814. That has great and deep meaning. If you ever get a chance, you need to look up the Star-Spangled Banner online and read it, what it means. There's a lot of meat to that. But today, we're here to review the state of the county, our county, and highlight some of the achievements and challenges that we face as public servants to the public, and to ensure that there are certain unalienable rights are met and maintained. But with that, I'm going to touch on just a few of the county departments that I have assigned to me to support and work with. We call them portfolios. And I'll start with the assessor. But for the maintenance of the rights of property, in this case, the Utah County is, as you all know, growing dramatically and quickly. And so we have to address population infrastructure growth. And state law mandates that the assessor's office measure, classify, and appraise all new buildings, as well as to provide annual updated valuations on all parcels within the county. And the county assessor's office processed nearly 10,000 new building permits this past year. Some it was commercial, more than 5,000 residential, just under about 500-600 of commercial. High density was roughly 2,500 units, so it was quite a job. The real estate activity remains very active, but it's starting to show signs of slowing down. In 2016, there was 6,600 residencies sold, and in 2020, there was about 8,200. And 2020, a little more than 8,000. And then this past year, about 6,500. So it's beginning to come down just a little bit. The median price that was sold for these homes in 2016 was about 275,000 a unit. It reached a climax of just over 600,000 last year, but we're seeing signs of it coming down this year. For the attorney's office, a different thing altogether, of course. There was about 5,200 cases held by and reviewed by the county attorney's office. 4,000 of them were by the district court, almost 1,000 here in the county court. We have of that, nearly 1,600 was by our Utah County Sheriff's Office, the cases that were received and provided to the courts. A little over 1,000 by the Provo City Department. We have Provo City here by any chance? I didn't see anybody. Nope, okay. The rest of them are by Orem Police, Lehigh, Springville, Utah Highway Patrol, and American Fork Police. But the top charges that were filed were by Utah County Sheriffs and Provo City. Of that, it is interesting to see we consistently, by the Sheriff's Office, about a fourth of these were property issues. The rest of them were drugs or DUI. And we already know about the increase of drug of various kinds. Fentanyl has done more damage to the nation than we can actually cover at this point. But the sheriffs and the police are on the pointy edge of the spear, so to speak, to try to countermand this effort that we see coming from many different countries, not just one in particular. But of the district court cases, of the 4,000 that were held, the sheriffs had 710 of those. Provo City had nearly 1,000. And the numbers that are being heard by the district court are about the same as they were last year, and that's 79 this past year, 80 in 2021. Our justice court had not quite as many, about 20 a week is what they're hearing. These are not necessarily fun things, but these are something to be aware of, because as population grows, so do the wrong influences. And so we have to be aware of that. We have to support the law enforcement efforts, and that's why this is important for us to realize now. A third agency that we have in the county is known as the Children's Justice Center. The director is here with us in the back. She handles perhaps more the keenly felt issues of the county. The Justice Center provides a home-like facility that serves children and families who are experiencing the risks and chaos that follow the disclosure of significant physical or sexual abuse of a child. I asked what age group, and she says 18 down to infants, unfortunately. And between her office in Provo and the office in American Fork, they handle about 1,000 cases a year. This is significant because you begin a horrible experience for a child at a young age, it ripples on for decades. And some can get past it, many don't. And as a result, the sheriff and police have to respond to those events that are not curable. On the positive side, they have this past Christmas had about $25,000 donations worth of comfort and Christmas items for families. And each family didn't get just one, or a child didn't get one, but they got multiple items. And that was very rewarding, very refreshing. They continue to administer various processes that handle suicide and traumatic stresses. They screened 413 with one set. 54% of those screened indicates a concern for suicide for these youth. So that's another layer of concern. Online therapists trained in multiple modalities provide individual therapy sessions. The child abuse treatment centers are provided with the assistance of highly skilled community therapists, and the center provides 30,538 group therapy sessions this past year alone. The Child Victim Mentor Program partners children with adult mentor who has been thoroughly vetted and screened and trained. The mentor provides a child with another trustworthy adult who supports their healing journey, and there were 26 children who were partnered with a mentor this past year. It is a one-stop, the Children's Justice Center is a one-stop, has a one-stop clinic on Tuesday evenings that provide community members with free access to attorneys, victim advocates, and other support programs who work together to assist individuals and families with family law, legal immigration services, protective orders, criminal and justice information, housing assistance, and other services. And many of the programs would not be successful as they are without the help of the incredible volunteers that we have. And the volunteers have donated 4,300 hours this past year. A couple of comments from the parents is that we love that there was a playful attitude when you first walk in the door. I almost brought me to tears knowing how much thoroughly how much thought was given to my child. They gave my child a gift, a bag to bring home, and a blanket, and it seemed like it was just above beyond the kind of attitude she was expecting. Children were saying, "Does every kid that comes in this here get to be treated as royalty?" I quite enjoyed myself, this 12-year-old said. I love the way they made me feel comfortable and safe. Everyone was very kind and supportive, a 16-year-old said. So cool, I want to come every day, an 8-year-old said. So as horrible as these experiences are, the kids are getting the treatment and attention that they need. There's a new program that has just been established December 7th this past year called the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. There'll be individuals. This is a legislative requirement on the county. It is composed of a county commissioner, county sheriff or his designee, chief of police within the county or his designee, a county attorney or a designee, of course, and one public defender, a district court judge, a justice court judge, one representative from Division of Adult Probation, one representative from a local mental health authority, and one individual who is a crime victim or a victim advocate. And the purpose of this is to slow down the rate of returning back to crime and stop it as all possible. And it is also a program to help that individual or individuals get reintegrated into the community. Reporting requires we have to give a report to the state every end of November of each year, and we are to meet as often as necessary. We will be meeting actually later this month for the first time. If we go on now to the Justice Court, some of the data I gave you earlier reflects this, but there was an additional insight we got from Justice Patton earlier, and he said that justice courts are established by counties and municipalities and have the authority to deal with Class B and C misdemeanors, violations of ordinances and small claims, and infractions committed within their territorial properties. In 2022, a year ago, 13 months ago, Judge Patton was appointed, and then in September of this past year, Judge Birch was asked to fill in as we watch the growth of the population, whether we need a second judge full-time or not. And those will be decided in the coming months. Accomplishments they've made in August, Judge Patton implemented monthly case tracking, which allowed the process of follow-ups with each defendant as to whether they are complying with the court directions. That has made significant inroads to ensure that punishment or assignments are being carried out. The goals for this coming year will be to find solutions to reduce the backlog of cases due because of COVID. As maybe most of you know, the courts were closed for most of the COVID season, and everyone that was convicted of something or other had to wait until the season will allow them to get back. The caseload for each judge right now is 1.4. It went up from 1.3 in a year previous. In 2022, we anticipate that caseload to go out more, even higher still. The public defender, the executive director is assigned to provide defendants a lawyer to defend them in cases. So every time the county attorney has a case he has to address, a county defender is assigned to support that individual. And the successes, as the director said, are simply in the fact that we exist to stand with undesirable people in the inconsequential cases to prevent the state machine, as he puts it, from running roughshod over them. Those will be seen in court, whether or not that is true. But the caseload that he has matches one-on-one with the caseload we have in way of prosecutions. Their social work division handles about 3,700 cases and has saved about that same number of days in jail time, which equates to roughly $250,000 in costs. There are other county functions that each commissioner is assigned to. I won't go through those at this time. But that is a summary of what we have been doing this past year, where we think we're going in the coming years. And as the population grows, we will continue to address them and be in the front. And that's about all I've got. Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you to some key people that have made my first month very, well, how do I say this? A lot easier, basically. My policy advisor, Nicole Neer, if you raise your hand, Nicole, she and I are jumping into a lot of stuff, and so I thank her for all of her tireless hours that she has helped, as well as the other two commissioners and their policy advisors have been wonderful. There's something about when you serve next to somebody, right? You really do grow to love those individuals, and so I really thank all of those that have been helpful. I won't start naming names because from every department, everybody's been really grateful. So thank you for that. And one of the things is I was thinking about what to kind of touch on other than all of the different departments. I wanted to point out that in government we use a lot of acronyms, right? And it's kind of crazy because if you look at the sheriff's department, they have an acronym for everything, right? SVU and so on and so forth, right? And then the other side of government, we have MAG and we have all these things. Well, I came up with one today and I think it's pretty great. So bear with me, but if you have Brandon, Amelia, and Tom, what do you have? Thank you. You have a bat, right? So if I'm Commissioner Gordon and I wore my Batman socks today, I really hope this goes on without any hitches. So, without any hitches, you know what I'm saying. So basically we are BAT, whether you guys figured that out like I did or not. Now we have an acronym for the Utah County Commission. So, and everybody's still wondering if Public Works is going to get the bat signal installed to shoot to Sheriff Smith, and we're still working on it. We got a lot of projects. And, well, the Batmobiles, that's in 2025's budget. But in our family, we really love football. We love all types of football and the team aspect. And this time of year, I'm often just amazed at the changes that happen with each and every team in either college or NFL. And the front office is constantly trying to put together this group of individuals that as they work together as a team, they're going to win the Super Bowl, or they're going to win the national championship, if you will, right? And I really firmly believe that, as my analogy, hopefully you follow me with the sports analogy, is we have some amazing individuals that have fallen into some places, both politically and just hires that are amazing at Utah County. We're on our way to winning some Super Bowls. We have a saying in Spanish Fork, where I'm from, it's a baseball town, that we like to hit home runs, but hitting singles really helps us win the game. And so we plan on hitting a lot of singles with this group and throughout Utah County. My portfolio assignments start out with the surveyor, Anthony Canto, and his crew. They've been working hard. Anthony was great. He was one of the first ones to reach out to me and when I was elected and run me through all of their processes that they go through. And it was amazing to learn how his office runs. And really all I can say more about that than what you'll see in your book is that they are on track to do some amazing things, making surveying a lot more efficient and bringing the processes up to a different level. And so I applaud him and his team and all their work to clean up property boundaries and make everything more efficient. The sheriff, you get the sheriff portfolio assignment if your policy advisor's husband is a police officer, or if you've been through taser training. If anybody wants to see my taser video of me getting tasered, it's really good. My wife loves it. When she's having a sad day, she watches it and it cheers her right up. So, but working with the sheriff's been awesome. Just even a month, and I've known Sheriff for even longer. But I'm really excited about the opportunities that we have within his department. You look at the back of your folder and notice that it's a big chunk of your report. There's a lot to touch on. But one thing I wanted to touch on today was something cool that Commissioner Powers Gardner emailed me, and it's about some awards that our Sheriff's Department recently received. So I'll read this. It says, the Utah County Sheriff's Office Special Victims Unit was presented with the Child Saving Award for the number of children they have saved/rescued throughout this year. This was a result of serving a significant number of child pornography search warrants, online interdiction, and child trafficking investigations arrests, and investigation arrests of contact offenders. After this award, the Utah County Special Victims Unit then received the award for Agency of the Year. There were 37 law enforcement agencies that were eligible for this award. To be selected over all the other agencies is a significant honor and achievement and speaks to the dedication, devotion, and skill of the Utah County Sheriff's Office Special Victims Unit. Special Victims Unit Supervisor Sergeant Elise Hines and Detectives Joseph Carl, Tyler Hutchings, Casey Robertson, Lacey Morgan, and now Sergeant Ray Ormond are all to be commended for their outstanding service to the Sheriff's Office and to the citizens of Utah County. I'll just leave that with that. It says, I think it speaks volumes to how Sheriff Smith has our Sheriff's Department headed in the right direction. And again, there's many, many more statistics in your book that you can read about what they have going on there. But Monday we had some opportunities to go through the jail and see some different things that the sheriff's working on and dealing with, and we're very excited to continue to work forward to help them be successful in all that they do. Now, Public Works and Community Development is another assignment that I have. Richard Nielsen and his crew are doing a fantastic job. They have so many projects they're working on, and one right now is the Mount Loafer Highway that goes from the Benjamin I-15 exit up to Elk Ridge. It's a tremendous project. It's one of Utah County's largest, and it was like some 25 years in the making to see this project through. It's going to be huge and impact South Utah County, and Richard and his crew are heading that up, and it's an amazing project. Another thing that they have going, the other day I called him and I said, hey, I just got a phone call from a farmer and he's worried about flooding. Here we've been praying for all these years for rain, and now our prayers have been answered and we have all this high water. And so Richard, like Richard does, got his people, and our neighboring mayor from Spanish Fork, he got his people, and we got down by the river and a bunch of farmers showed up and we started putting plans in place, right, for what happens when all this snow melts. Because the lake's not full, it'll take the water, we just got to get it there. And it was so great to see so many minds from the farm all the way to our Public Works Director coming up with plans and ideas and making sure that we have those things in place so that when the snow melts, the water will get to where it needs to go. So I commend Richard and Public Works. They have so many projects going on, and there's a lot happening in Public Works, and so we're excited to work with them too. I have a love and passion for roads, as I was an asphalt worker and estimator for many years, and so roads are kind of running my blood. Kim Jackson and the Treasurer's Office, like others, are working to automate and make payments easier and use less paper, and they want to increase in this upcoming year even more of the e-check payments. They're a fun office if you ever get a chance to pop in there. So I commend Kim and all that he's doing as well. And my last assignment is Andrea Allen, and her office is they're going through some sleepless nights in a little bit of a move, if you will. But they're getting settled in a new spot as they remodel their office. And Andrea and her team, the state requires that you have all of your completed documents by January 31st. They were completed this year by January 6th. And that's the first time in many, many years. And Andrea and her team should be commended for that wonderful thing. They now have goals that they have indexing done within 1 day of recording, and mapping to be done within 2 weeks. Property Watch was also something that they rolled out to help you as a property owner, that if you sign up for that, you could receive an alert if there's some activity on your property as it pertains to documentation. So kudos to Andrea and her department. And so as you can see, I'm part of an amazing team that just love Utah County, whether it's the employees or the other elected officials, and I'm just lucky to serve with those that want to see this county continue to grow and be a place where we can raise our families and enjoy our all of our lives as we live here. So thank you for this time.
So next we are going to announce our Person of the Year for Utah County, and I don't get to have the honor to read their bio, but I wanted to say that the thing that sets Utah County apart, I grew up here, was raised here, my family's been here for 8 generations, and then I left for 10 years. And I've been to places with beautiful mountains and wonderful lakes, and I've been to places with great universities, but really it's the people here in Utah County that makes us different. That is what makes us the best place in the world. And we are really excited to introduce our Person of the Year because he exemplifies the community spirit, the giving spirit, the cooperative spirit that truly makes Utah County the best place. And we're honored. And so I'm going to introduce Commissioner Sakovich gets to read his bio.
The county is a reflection in large part because of the people that live in the community. We see that in towns and cities. We see that in the county and the state. And we have the opportunity to recognize a couple of those that really stand out for a lot of different reasons. As much as we're able to jerk and pull, there's some things I was able to pull out. But I'd like to introduce, I'll have him come up in a minute, and I'll ask Miss Utah County to come up as well, if you would. But Mark Patey and his wife Susie, with their encouragement, has start life as a high-energy, very curious child with a passion for building and creating things. Didn't matter what, things. That's where my logo set, I think, went off to some time ago. At the age of 15, he and his twin brother Mike had already started their first of many companies, then later employed over 100 people by the age of 21. That's remarkable. Mark is currently CEO of the Best Aviation Products, the makers of Best Tugs, Best Scrubbers, and Best Power Supplies for aircraft. I won't go into those. I'll let him touch on that. Mark's book, Addicts and Millionaires, The Gift and Curse of ADHD, has been an inspiration to millions around the world. Mark enjoys collecting, building, and flying airplanes and donates his time and personal helicopter to the Utah County Search and Rescue of the County Sheriff's Office. And in 2010, the state of Utah awarded Mark with a Citizen Life-Saving Award. Mark, in 2011, along with his twin brother Mike, received global recognition for breaking transcontinental world speed record held by Howard Hughes. That's some time in between. This was done in aircraft they had built at their home airport in Spanish Fork. In 2021, Mark and Mike were nominated to become part of the Living Legends of Aviation for the multiple aircraft builds, the Aviator Records set, and for building a globally recognized brand and best aviation products. Mark lives in Utah with his wife Susie, and they have 4 sons, 4 daughters-in-law, and 3 grandchildren. And every one of them, I think, have sprout of a certain length of wings on their back of each child, I'll say. They all fly, including Susie. So this is a flying family. I would like to introduce to you Mark Patey. Could you just take a minute or two and just talk for a second?
Sure.
Come back up for a second.
I really appreciate this. It's such an honor. You know, these kinds of events, the text messages don't stop, and I thought it was funny that I was on a group text my wife sent to some other family members with a picture of the program today, and it said, "Look who's Person of the Year." And my brother-in-law appropriately replied, he says, "Yes, Susie Patey." And I thought that was absolutely true. You know, like was said, my brother and I started our first business pretty young. We didn't have a lot of money, and that was a way to help provide for the family. And we learned to work hard, and hard work will make up for intelligence every time. And so since we didn't have one, we definitely had the other. And Mike would always say that it takes 2 of us to have one brain. As twins, the brain was split. So we get 2 of us together, we work twice as hard and have the same intellectual capacity. So what worked out for us. But the reality is, I do have to give credit to my wife, Susie. I mean, this is an honor, but I've built quite a few businesses together. In fact, there's kind of 3 people I just want to show my appreciation to, because they deserve this more than I do, individually as a group. One's my wife, Susie, who's from the very start raised 4 kids while I was working more hours than probably any husband should. And she worked way harder than I did at that. As the kids started to grow up, I got a great friend and business partner in Ranch Pratt, who's here. Over 20 years of struggling and succeeding and falling down. And we've been fortunate enough to have some good successes, and no big home runs. We're not some big hit a home run all at once and got this incredible lifestyle. We've been base hitters for 20 years and had enough losses, and now have a pretty good life and a pretty good lifestyle that I feel very fortunate to have. But it was just long, hard work with a lot of mistakes for a long time, and it's worked out. So I want to thank Ranch Pratt for 5 businesses now we've worked together on. The other is my sons, as Ranch and I turned into old men, and Susie stayed young and beautiful. She's always been. My kids finally grew up. I have 4 wonderful sons, and they run Best Aviation Products with Ranch, and they do the heavy lifting. I'm trying to not work so much. I'm trying to play a little more. I'm trying to spend more time with my wife. But true to her form, Susie still works full-time doing accounting and books and payroll for the family businesses. And so I'm off playing, and she is the person of the year on the sidelines, and she deserves all the credit. So I don't know what else to say other than thank you, and I'm honored. My sons and I don't know if you guys remember this, but Trevor will, because he still has the sticker. We had a family home evening one night where we all sat around and said, what does it mean to be a Patey? And, there was 6 of us. And so we each came up with something of what it meant to be a Patey, and we came up with a Patey logo, and it had a 6 on it. These 6 things, that's what it meant to be a Patey. And I think that's narrowed down really to 3. And I think my kids really live up to it, but that's be kind, do no harm, and lift when you can. And it's pretty dang simple. If you can live up to those things, and you can't, the third one's the hardest. You can't always lift. You're maybe not emotionally there, maybe don't have time, maybe you don't have the resources, but lift when you can. And the other 2 you can always do. Be kind and do no harm. And thank you so much for the award. I'm truly honored. Appreciate it.
Let's get Susie up here too. You go up next to him, please.
That. Thank you. Like I said, I think the Pateys, their whole family, really exemplifies why Utah County is the best place, and that is because of our people. When we think back to just a few years ago, we had the largest natural disaster in the state's history. We had a fire in the southeast corner of our county, and the Red Cross came in, and they were ready to help, and they set up shelters for all of the people that had been evacuated from their homes, and the shelters sat empty because our community and our citizens brought in everyone who needed somewhere to sleep. And then there were announcements coming out from the shelters that said, please stop donating. We have so much stuff, we don't know what to do with it, because Utah County stepped up to help our neighbors. And I think the Patey family exemplifies that in every way. So thank you for being pillars in our community, and much, much deserved for you and your family. So I'm going to talk about my portfolio assignments. I cover the clerk, auditor, information systems, human resource, and the health department. I'm going to start with the auditor's department. Obviously, as many of you know, I was the clerk auditor for 2.5 years, so those 2 departments are near and dear to my heart. Our auditor's department has been fantastic at working to analyze data so that we can have data-driven decision-making and to ensure that Utah County has world-class accounting and efficiency. In 2022 and moving on to 2023, the auditor's department is with an eye of efficiency. We're looking at stewardship of taxpayer dollars. Utah County is really the example that you can do more with less. But the way to do more with less is to ensure that you're spending every dollar efficiently and to be data-driven. And our auditor's office really has stepped up and done that in a world-class way. Our clerk's office has 2 main functions that they work on, and that is elections and what we call citizen services, which is mostly marriage licenses and passports. The goal of our elections office is listed as to provide efficient, accurate, and secure elections by serving citizens of all political affiliations in a professional and welcoming environment. The staff of that department has absolutely met that consistently year after year. And we are excited in 2023 to have them continue to be the most transparent elections office in the state. They are looking to expand audits, and as always, they are looking to improve ways to improve their processes. They truly are the most innovative and forward-thinking elections office in the state. With regards to marriage licenses, they are innovative, they utilize technology, and kind, efficient, thorough customer service. It's hard to think of another government office that has a 4.8 out of 5-star customer service rating on Google, but our clerk's office does. In 2022, they issued over 17,000 passport services, over 15,000 marriage licenses, and performed over 4,500 marriages. That has actually come to the tune of about $1.8 million in revenue to our general fund for the people of Utah County, all while maintaining that 4.8-star customer service rating, which is really phenomenal for any organization, let alone a government organization. Now, none of that would have been possible without our Information Systems Division. We really have an Information Systems Division in Utah County that is absolutely world-class. And I don't just say that because I'm their portfolio commissioner. When I travel the country to talk to my peers in other counties to try to find best practices, when they see the work that we're doing in Utah County, they always ask, what company built that for you? And when we explain that our in-house Information Systems Division not only builds our systems, but maintains them and services them, they are floored. We have more capacity and more innovation in our system than anywhere else, and it's recognized. Our information systems won Best of State Visionary Award, and it is well-deserved. They also win national awards from the National Association of Counties on a regular basis for their innovative approaches. And the most fantastic thing about this is while they're innovating, what they're actually doing is creating efficiencies. They're eliminating manual processes, but more importantly, they are making it easier for our citizens to interact with government with as much ease as possible. And that is something that is unique to government. We are truly blessed to have such great information systems. They always have an innovative can-do attitude. Next is the health department. Our health department has a commitment to modernizing services that are offered and to prioritizing innovation in ways that will better serve our citizens. One of the most fantastic things that they did in 2022 was analyze where the people live that are utilizing their services most. This drove them to move a WIC clinic, for those of you who don't know WIC, speaking of our acronyms that we love, Women, Infants, and Children. We love children in this county. We have a lot of them. I think we have more children than any other county in the state for sure. And per capita, I'll bet we have the most children in the nation of any county. So it's important that we take care of those children and make sure they have the nutrition that they need to grow healthy. Well, what we found is that a lot of our families that qualify and need WIC services to bring nutrition to their children were in the western part of our county, but all of our WIC offices were in the eastern area along the I-15 corridor. So the health department, after realizing this, in just the beginning, I think it was maybe April of 2022, by November, they had reallocated resources without using any additional taxpayer dollars. They were able to open a clinic in Saratoga Springs and bring those WIC services to the families that needed them so that we could be better utilizing our tax dollars and better serving our citizens without requiring any additional tax dollars. I'm very proud to be the Portfolio Commissioner for the Health Department because we have a health department that focuses on education and providing resources as opposed to mandates. And for the people of Utah County, that means the world to us. We are a very independent people, and we don't like mandates. But our health department finds ways to serve every citizen, to provide resources, to provide education without even asking the commission to mandate, which is fantastic. As I was preparing these comments, I decided to do a little experiment. I went into an AI chat program, and I just wanted to see what this AI chat program would say. So I asked it, here was my question. What are the 5 key points to talk about when speaking on economic opportunity and growth in Utah County? Surprisingly, what the AI chatbot came back with was absolutely spot on. Number 1, Utah County's strong economic growth. We have had fantastic economic growth, even through COVID. As other counties were shrinking and getting smaller, Utah County continued to have strong growth. In fact, our attitude of keeping our county open for business and not telling people which businesses were necessary and which ones weren't meant that we actually leapfrogged the rest of the country and had the strongest economy in the country moving forward. Through COVID, we had the lowest unemployment rate. In fact, our unemployment rate was 3 points lower than Salt Lake County, who we border. We live in the same economic region, and yet we had 3% lower unemployment rate. So phenomenal economic growth. Even with layoffs in the tech industry and us having Silicon Slopes, our economy is diversified enough that we're able to just redeploy that labor to other areas and continue to have low unemployment and strong economic growth. Number 2, it said entrepreneurship and innovation. And people like the Paties are a great example of that entrepreneurship. It said hitting singles over and over again with companies, and that's what makes us great. Utah County is home to a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem with a number of incubators and accelerators that provide resources and support to new businesses. In fact, Stanford University recently released a study that said Utah is the #1 economy in the nation to have a tech startup. You have roughly a 1 in 60 chance of becoming a unicorn if you start a company here in Utah, which is higher than Silicon Valley. We truly are the best place to work. The third point the AI bot gave us was education and workforce development. Utah County is home to Utah's largest 2 universities, Brigham Young University and Utah Valley University, both of whom do a fantastic job of providing a well-educated workforce. But we also have Rocky Mountain University of Health Professions, and we have Mountain Land Technology Center. Did you know that over 80% of the people that commute from Eagle Mountain to Lehigh on a daily basis for work have a 4-year degree? One of the biggest issues we have is traffic. So if we can help businesses realize that there is an educated workforce in the Cedar Valley, then we can help alleviate some of that traffic while also continuing to have a diversified, robust economy. And the 5th point that the AI chatbot came back with is quality of life. This is what it said. It said, Utah County offers a high quality of life with a number of recreational activities and cultural attractions. This makes it an attractive place to live and work and can help to attract new businesses and residents to the area. So here is our challenge. There's a lot of positive things going on in Utah County, but if even an AI chatbot has figured out that we're the best place in the world, that means everybody in the world wants to move here. So our #1 challenge is growth. And while growth brings us challenges with housing and transportation and transit and water, I would rather have the problems associated with growth than the problems associated with a shrinking, stagnant economy. So we are excited as a commission and as a county, and I know our mayors who represent our cities are excited too, to tackle these challenges of growth. Now, I've had some people tell me that my leadership style can come across as pushy at times. I am a very results-driven individual, and I am not content with the status quo. I ran for office in Utah County because there was a vacuum of leadership. I have worked tirelessly, both as the county clerk auditor and as a county commissioner, to solve problems and improve the functioning of Utah County. I will continue to ruffle feathers, and I will continue to be as pushy as I need to be to accomplish the results that we need here in Utah County to continue to be the best place in the world to live, work, play, and raise a family. The future is bright. Our forebears built this valley out of a desert. We can do this too. We have the best community in the world. Together, we can ensure that our children and their children can continue to prosper right here in Utah County. Thank you. So next, it is my honor to get to introduce the business of the year. I'm very excited for this business. My family has been in Lehi for over 100 years. And so has this business. Lehi Mills, founded in 1906, the Lehi Roller Mills started as a coalition of farmers milling their wheat together. The George G. Robinson family purchased the mills in 1910, and the mills became a crucial part of flour production industry, given the agricultural focus of the region. The city of Lehi has grown around the roller mills. Most notably, the mills brought fame to Lehi when they were featured in the 1984 movie Footloose, starring Kevin Bacon. The round silos painted with images from flour sacks became an icon of Lehi, and I would say all of Utah. Locals were excited to see a part of a small town Lehi, Utah, represented in a major motion picture. Because of the significance they have had in Lehi's history, the roller mills were officially added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1994. Lehi Mills provides a whole line of quality baking mixes, flour, and products that they sell online and in grocery stores. They are a trusted brand, and we are fortunate to have them here in Utah County. We are pleased to recognize Lehi Mills as the 2022 Business of the Year, but in January we're presenting that. Now, I do want to say that one of the reasons, it's not just because they are such an icon that we chose them as Business of the Year, but it's because of their ability to stay true to their roots while pivoting with the times. Lehi Mills started as a flour mill, and then as people evolved and changed and we were no longer often baking our own bread at home, then they started making mixes. I know when I first started my career at Caterpillar in 2004, I would buy entire cases of their mixes that had the festive cloth over them. How many of you guys have seen those? I would buy those by the case and bring them back to Illinois with me, and that's what I gave all of my coworkers for Christmas. They have done a fantastic job of recognizing from just flour to mixes as society changed. And then as we became more of an e-commerce online society, Lehi Roller Mills pivoted again, and they really, I think, led in the e-commerce world. They have been in business for over 100 years, staying true to their roots while also changing with the times, which is a perfect example of what we need to do as a county to continue to be the best place. And that's why I'm honored to recognize with us from Lehi Mills, we have Brock Knight and Todd Berry, and I want to invite them up. I'm going to say a few words and then we'll take a picture.
We need Amelia on our marketing team. So we have our marketing team back there with Candace and Caitlin, but thank you, that was awesome. I'm Brock Knight, I'm the general manager at Lehi Roller Mills, and Todd Berry is our vice president of operations. We both grew up in Utah County. We have both raised our families in Utah County. We are now stewards of Lehigh Mills, and we take pride in our work. If you go to the grocery store and you happen to see one of our mixes, raspberry muffin or pancake mix, it'll have the symbol of Utah on there. It says Made in Utah. And we're honored to be here today because we do represent Utah County, and we want to be a trusted food manufacturer that represents Utah. And thank you. I know that Todd's going to say something. Nobody knows who we are, and we prefer that. But I would like him to say a few things.
I'd just like to also thank Utah County for this award. There's been many times being a small flour mill as we are, and some days it's not very easy that me and Brock look at each other and we ask the question, what are we doing here? But we knew throughout the years that this iconic business needed to remain a flour mill, and we've worked hard to make sure that it's still in business, and it'll be in business for many years to come. So again, on behalf of Ken Brailsford and his family that are owners of the mill, we'd just like to thank you for this award of being the Business of the Year for Utah County. Thank you.
All right, that concludes what we have today. There will be some hors d'oeuvres in the back. Stay, mingle, chat. Those of you that got awards, we would love to get some pictures over here with you. And thank you for coming to our State of the County. And remember that the state of Utah County is good and the future is bright. Thank you.